Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah.
Now, shall we begin with you as usual?
Yes.
Hazur, I've got a question from Surah Bani Israel,
Yes.
verse 105. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. وقلنا من بعده لبني إسرائيل اسكنوا الأرض فإذا جاء وعد الآخرة جئنا بكم لفيفا. So can you explain to us what is meant by جئنا بكم لفيفا?
I think this has already been discussed before among us here, no? No?
Not here.
Okay. So this verse has to be read in continuity with what follows, because there are some references which have not been properly understood, and the fixing of the time is a crucial point which has to be understood properly, which is Wadul Akhira, whether it happened before or is yet to happen. These are the vital questions, which have to be settled. So read, these are the last verses of Surah Bani Israel or Isra, as they call it in Arab countries.
So shall I read the verse preceding also?
Yes, do please.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم فأراد أن يستفزهم من الأرض فأغرقناه ومن معه جميعا وقلنا من بعده لبني إسرائيل اسكنوا الأرض فإذا جاء وعد الآخرة جئنا بكم لفيفا وبالحق أنزلناه وبالحق نزل وما أرسلناك إلا مبشرا ونذيرا وقرآنا فرقناه لتقرأه على الناس على مكث ونزلناه تنزيلا قل آمنوا به أو لا تؤمنوا إن الذين أوتوا العلم من قبله إذا يتلى عليهم يخرون للأذقان سجدا.
Now this is sajda. Lazim hai?
No.
It's not here.
No. ويقولون سبحان ربنا إن كان وعد ربنا لمفعولا ويخرون للأذقان يبكون ويزيدهم خشوعا. Here is the sajda. Yes.
So we should do the sajda in whichever direction we are, because this sajda does not require any direction. Yes, please.
قل ادعوا الله أو ادعوا الرحمن قل ادعوا الله أو ادعوا الرحمن أياما تدعوا أيما تدعوا فله الأسماء الحسنى ولا تجهر بصلاتك ولا تخافت بها وابتغ بين ذلك سبيلا وقل الحمد لله الذي لم يتخذ ولدا ولم يكن له شريك في الملك ولم يكن له ولي من الذل وكبره تكبيرا.
That is till the end.
Yes.
But where is the first time it is mentioned? Khilal al-Diyar, that verse. That is what I had in mind. This verse should have been read after that. This is the last promise, right? But before that, in the beginning, somewhere in the same surah, that the reference is to some past events when the Jewish people misbehaved and God brought Nebuchadnezzar to punish them, and then again they got rehabilitated there. Then in the end, this is the last promise. Before that, these two promises have to be read, otherwise this issue will remain rather confused. You see, according to the Quran, it has happened twice before. First, the Jews were gathered in the Holy Land, and they misbehaved misconducted themselves, and God had them punished by the invasion of Nebuchadnezzar, who severely punished them and scattered them. Then they were brought back, rehabilitated, with the help of Horus, King Horus, who is called what's Cyrus?
Yes.
Cyrus in English. And yet again they were turned out of the Holy Land. This time by the invasion of the Roman general, whom the Roman emperor had especially chosen, the one who had conquered England. I think it was the same general who was brought back from wherever he was at the moment, and it took a year for the emperor to have Palestine invaded after the rebellion of the Jews. Then they were punished and finally scattered.
This is it, at the beginning of
Yes,
the surah.
this is the beginning of the surah.
Yes.
Then when the Quran is mentioned, when the Islam has come, this is the promise which relates to the age of Islam. So that is why I said, just in view of a single verse, you cannot explain it properly. This entire subject, wherever it is discussed in the surah, should be read together. Then inshallah you will begin to understand the meaning of this verse.
وَقَضَيْنَا إِلَى بَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ فِي الْكِتَابِ لَتُفْسِدُنَّ فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرَّتَيْنِ وَلَتَعْلُنَّ عُلُوًّا كَبِيرًا فإذا جاء وعد أولاهما بعثنا عليكم عبادا لنا أولي بأس شديد فجاسوا خلال الديار وكان وعدا مفعولا.
This is Nebuchadnezzar. The first invasion which routed the Israelites from the Holy Land and scattered them to in the world was the one which is mentioned here, Wadu Ulahuma.
ثم رددنا لكم الكرة عليهم وأمددناكم بأموال وبنين وجعلناكم أكثر نفيرا.
That is with the help of Cyrus. They took their revenge against the Babylonians, and they were emancipated from their yoke, and a new Jewish empire was born after its complete desolation earlier.
إن أحسنتم أحسنتم لأنفسكم وإن أسأتم فلها فإذا جاء وعد الآخرة ليسوءوا وجوهكم وليدخلوا المسجد كما دخلوه أول مرة وليتبروا ما علوا تتبيرا.
This again has happened because this happened after Jesus Christ. Around 70 years after the demise of Jesus, as we believe, or ascent of Jesus as the others believe. This also happened because the Solomon's temple, which had been re-erected after King Ezra, was again razed to ground and turned into a heap of rubbish and ruins and stones. So this second promise has also come to be fulfilled. Now we turn to the third, the last promise.
Back to the verse, or we continue this?
Read this verse one more and then.
Yes. عسى ربكم أن يرحمكم وإن عدتم عدنا وجعلنا جهنم للكافرين حصيرا.
Asa
ربكم أن يرحمكم.
Despite the fact that the Holy Quran specifically mentions that the second promise has also come to pass, and they have been punished yet again. But asa, it is possible for God. It's not farthest from God. to have mercy upon you once again. Right? This mercy was shown to them later on. How? This is the verse which relates to it.
The verse which follows?
No, the one we are discussing. Last one.
وقلنا من بعده لبني إسرائيل اسكنوا الأرض فإذا جاء وعد الآخرة جئنا بكم لفيفا.
Lafifa. This is the important point. Never before in the history of the Jewish people, they were gathered from all over the world and brought back to Israel. This is the most important point which is so significant that without understanding it, you cannot understand what this promise is and when was it to be fulfilled. So I repeat, in the beginning there was a promise, there was a warning that because Jewish people, repeatedly defied God and angered Him, so they were warned that the first time it happened, this is the fate which was meted out to you. This is what happened to you. Then God showed mercy on you, helped you. Which help? It was the help is the one which came from Iran, from Cyrus. It was the help mentioned is that help, who brought a big army along with him, ousted the enemy, destroyed the enemy, and rehabilitated the Israel kingdom in Judea and Palestine. And they remained in occupation as such for some time. But the warning there was that if you repeat the same folly again, we will punish you yet again. The folly was committed by them by not only rejecting Jesus Christ, but also being so cruel to Him. In fact, plotting His crucifixion. Though He was saved from crucifixion, as we believe, but the plot was made by the Jews and it was followed. The order was given by Pilate. So remember this, the second promise has also come to pass. Now there is a third promise which relates to the latter days after the beginning of Islam, because the verses before speak of the Quran and Islam and this and that. During that Muslim era, Allah says that He may have mercy on you yet again. And when that last promise will be fulfilled, they will be gathered from all over the world. This is the important point. We never saw Jews to be collected from all over the world, because those who were scattered by Nebuchadnezzar were not brought back, all of them, to Judea. Only 2 tribes were gathered, as you know so well, because when Jesus came, where were the all scattered Israelites having come back and settled there? They did not come. So Jaina bikum lafifa is that promise which got fulfilled in our sight, within our sight. We saw it fulfilled. And this is exactly what the Jewish government claims, that it is our mission to collect Jews wherever they are found in the world. Even they have gone into Ethiopia, and many expeditions were made to bring the Jewish people of Ethiopia from there to Israel by violating the law of the government and by manipulating such maneuvers. sea and air maneuvers, whereby they succeeded in their object. They have brought back Jews from all over USSR, they have brought back Jews from India, and there are some controversies, of course, about some people, whether they are Jewish or not. They have brought back Jews from Uganda. Wherever they are found, they are bringing them back to have them settle in their country, except for those who are converted to Islam or other faiths. The Christians who were Jewish once have not been brought back. The Muslims who had Jewish origin or Israelite origin, they have not been brought back. So these are the two conditions essential for collecting the Lafifa is the most beautiful word. Collecting them from everywhere, assembling them. So this reassembly of Israel with the scattered children of Israel from all over the world is this promise which you spoke about, which you wanted to understand. Please.
The same verse.
The same verse, yes.
وَقُلْنَا مِنْ بَعْدِهِ لِبَنِي إِسْرَائِيلَ اسْكُنُوا الْأَرْضَ فَإِذَا جَاءَ وَعْدُ الْآخِرَةِ جِئْنَا بِكُمْ لَفِيفًا.
Lafifa. Uskunul Arda for some time, but Jena Bekum Lafifa. If they are already there, why should they be gathered? See? Which means you will be given some relief for a while to remain in Palestinian area. But the real promise about your gathering will be fulfilled in the latter days, when you will be scattered all over and God will have you recollected from everywhere to be brought back to this land together. No tribe of Israel will be left out.
وبالحق وبالحق أنزلناه وبالحق نزل وما أرسلناك إلا مبشرا ونذيرا.
That's right. Enough. بالحق أنزلناه. We have revealed this Quran with absolute truth, and it has descended with absolute truth. So this is how firm this promise is. So once you are there, remember, if you misbehave again, then the final punishment, the wrath of Allah will descend upon you, and after that there will be no reassembly. See? Please. Masha, he's become such a big expert in recollecting everything right from the beginning that now I don't have to show mercy to him. I continue for a long time and he recollects like the Jews are recollected in Israel.